Men think that body count is just a number, but it is not. Every woman you sleep with leaves a psychological imprint on your nervous system. And if your life feels chaotic in the area of dating, focus, and emotional stability, I am pretty sure your body knows why. And let me say something that most people are very hesitant to actually admit. They think that sex is only physical. But sex has a big impact on you energetically, psychologically, and emotionally as well. And these are also quoted in many of the ancient texts. Now, this video is not about judging, sex from a moral point of view, but I will be diving deep into some of the ancient text and esoteric knowledge to actually make you understand what is the energetic consequence of casually sleeping around. So, if you are new here, I am Vaishnavi and I'm a men's coach and I help men heal with their traumas, attachment issues, and wounded masculinity in order for them to build a meaningful connection first with themselves and also a woman as well. Now, if you want to get coached by me, reach out to me on Instagram using the link in the description box below. DM me the keyword coach so that I know you're reaching out to book a one on one session with me. And apart from that, if you want to work on building your masculine energy and confidence and also getting rid of your nice guy habit, you will find the link to my courses in the description box below as well, which will teach you a lot more about subconscious rewiring to dismantle these old identity and traumas that you're actually carrying inside you. So without any further ado, let's get into this video. So first, let's talk about the lie modern men were sold. Most men were taught these three lies in today's day and time. First lie is the more women that you have, the higher status that you have. The second lie is that casual sex has no emotional cost. And the third lie is that detachment in a way where you don't care about someone else and where you play around with someone's emotions is equivalent to masculine strength. But this is just plain red pill thinking. And actually observe men who are living this lie long term, who have been practicing this for a very long time in their life. When you actually observe these men carefully, you will notice that they have scattered focus, they're emotionally numb, they do not have the ability to actually form long term meaningful connection with someone, and they are also in this whole area of suppressing their emotional needs because they would rather seek external validation, even in the form of sex as well. And most of the times, I see this pattern that these men were deeply hurt, but instead of actually processing that pain in a healthy way, they decided to sleep around. But in this attempt to actually soothe their pain, they even lost the ability to form meaningful connection with the opposite gender as well. And in fact, when we look back in time, in ancient texts, it was taught that sex is never casual. It is basically merging of two people's energetic field. And this energetic field even contains thought forms, traumas, other people's emotional baggage and trauma. So when you're casually just sleeping around with someone, you don't even know what this person has gone through in their life, what kind of demons are living in their energy field and also in their subconscious mind. And this is specifically said in tantric philosophy. In tantric philosophy, sex is always the merging of two souls, of two energetic field. In Taoist traditions and teachings as well, sexual energy is often looked upon as the energy which is very crucial for your vitality and clarity of your mind as well. And even in certain Vedic frameworks as well, ungrounded sex is often known to have an impact on the mental stabilities and attachment forming abilities too. Now, let's strip away the mystical language and look at it from a scientific perspective. Pair bonding is real. When you have sex with someone, your brain actually releases very important neurochemicals in the process. There is dopamine, there is oxytocin, and there is vasopressins. And these are not just neutral chemicals, but they shape the very ability for you to actually form attachment with someone, has an impact on your emotional memory as well. And remember that your body and your subconscious mind does not treat sex like a handshake or a hug as well. Even if you logically try to convince yourself of that, because right now it's pretty common in the society, right? The hookup culture is on the rise. It is very acceptable to just sleep around with someone. And I do not intend to look at it from a moral perspective because people have the liberty to do whatever they want. They have the freedom to do whatever they want. But this has a bigger cost, which is not spoken about a lot in the society. And this video is created specifically to educate you about that. Now, let's talk about the psychological cause that most men actually ignore or aren't even aware about. The first thing is every time you have sex with someone, you form a micro bond with someone. Your subconscious mind and your nervous system forms a micro bond with someone, even if you logically dismiss that connection altogether, or even if you think of it as something that is casual. The second thing is you are basically training your mind to actually get more attracted to novelty and newness, and you think that is very rewarding because every time you sleep with someone, it feels like a micro conquest to your brain. The third thing is it actually fragments emotional focus and mental stability when men engage in casual sex without any form of grounding whatsoever. This basically trains their mind that they cannot ever have a stable connection with a woman. And they also kind of lose the ability to have a stable long term connection because they don't find fulfillment in it. Because their brain is constantly chasing newness and novelty, which itself becomes a trap. And over times, these men they also get emotionally blunted because they are constantly in a mode of suppressing any kind of emotions, love, feelings that they could even possibly feel for someone else as well. And over the long run, this completely hampers their growth to form a meaningful connection with one long term partner. And this has all to do with the mental conditioning these men have actually put themselves through, because your nervous system and your subconscious eventually does not believe in the whole concept of having long term relationship with one person, and somewhere unconsciously you may also believe that there is no form of fulfillment available in long term relationship. But in this whole process you are just jumping from one person to the other person, but you are never going to find that meaning or fulfillment in your life, because we are not meant, our nervous system is not meant to be sleeping around casually. And this is pretty much a new age lifestyle that has come in the last few decades as well. Now, let's go a little bit deeper into the spiritual and esoteric layer of this aspect too. Sex, sex, is equal to sacred exchange of energy. You are an energetic being more than a physical being because you are made of atom, and an atom is more energy than matter. So you are constantly emitting a biofield around you. There is constantly an energetic field around you, which can also be considered as your aura as well. Anytime you engage in physical intimacy with someone, there is an exchange of information between the biofield of you two. And when you become physically intimate with random people over a period of time, you are basically absorbing their emotional traumas. You are absorbing their attachment pattern, their shadow aspects, their unresolved issues from their psyche as well, because your body carries all of that energy. Have you heard of stories of, one person is going through a heart transplant and suddenly their taste and their preference for certain food has kind of changed? Why does this happen? Because the organ, the heart of the previous donor also carries that energetic information about preferences and about emotional memory and imprints as well. Similarly, your body, your cells, your muscles, your saliva, your fluids as well carries that emotional imprint of your traumas, your mental state, your subconscious patterns as well. And if a man is already very dysregulated, who is carrying his own inner traumas, unresolved patterns as well, and when he is constantly engaging with unstable women over a period of time, this man's nervous system is going to become more and more dysregulated. Because at the end of the day, you would not be just carrying your traumas, but you have also absorbed, let's say, 10 women's traumas over a period of time. It's very important for you to actually practice energetic hygiene, which is through cord cutting rituals or cord cutting ceremonies as well. Because every time you sleep with someone, the energetic thread between you and them are active, even if you do not interact with them. This is why most of the times men who actually engage in casual sex often experience a high amount of anxiety in their life, a state of emotional numbness, and even going into a little bit of depressive state as well. And apart from that, scientifically speaking as well, trauma exchange is very real because we as human beings, we are wired to co-regulate with another human being in our presence. But if you do this outside the container of a long-term stable relationship where there is emotional safety, your nervous system in a way identifies that this person in front of you is temporary, or there is no commitment over here, or even if this person is actually emotionally unavailable. And if you are a man who has that anxious energy, you are basically training your nervous system to expect micro abandonment every time you basically engage in physical intimacy with someone, because that bond is not going to last. And when two nervous system, especially when two unstable nervous system come together and actually indulge in sex, there is a clear emotional transfer also happening. When you sleep with a woman who is very anxious, you will also absorb her anxious energy. Your nervous system will start mimicking her internal state. When you sleep with an avoidant partner, you might also experience emotional shutdown. And when you sleep with someone who is very chaotic in nature, this is going to affect your mental clarity and your focus as well. And many times men think that something is wrong with them because they lack motivation or they lack discipline and they lack focus. But they never think about, oh, could this be because I actually slept with someone else and now my nervous system is mirroring their nervous system. So, does body count actually matter for men? The real answer is that it does not matter morally, but it absolutely does matter neurobiologically and psychologically as well. A man can actually sleep with certain people, but if that man actually consciously did it, he is self aware, he is regulated, his nervous system is going to be much more stable than a man who unconsciously sleeps around with other women because he is chasing novelty and he is actually trying to numb the void inside him. So the question is not the number itself. The question is the pattern. Are you choosing unconsciously or are you choosing consciously? Now, some people can choose unconsciously and also justify it by saying, I am choosing consciously. But you know the truth. You know whenever you are out of alignment with your own value system as well. So ask yourself this question: were you sleeping with someone because there was love involved, or were you sleeping with someone to actually feel something or a certain way about yourself, or even to get stimulated, or even to feel like you have actually conquered something? And after working with so many men, I have observed this pattern time and again. A man who is not able to commit fully or who lacks the stability, he often has a history of sleeping around with a lot of women very unconsciously. Now, he could have done this to actually cope with his pain, but that still has an effect on your subconscious mind and the nervous system as well. And there are men who actually take the path of validation driven intimacy, suppressed emotion, unprocessed heartbreak inside them as well, because one person did them dirty. So they decided to actually take revenge and, prove it to themselves that they are not worthy of that heartbreak by actually developing coping mechanisms in the form of sleeping around with other people as well. But this often leads you into a state where you bottle up your own emotion, and trust me, one day you're going to crash down. And instead of sleeping around with people unconsciously, you actually need to focus on building a strong masculine presence for yourself. And what does a strong masculine presence require? It definitely does not require you to actually count the number of women you have slept with, but it requires you to have a certain level of nervous system stability, value systems. What do you stand for and what do you not tolerate? Having boundaries, truly understanding consciously and unconsciously what you deserve in your life and what kind of meaning do you want to give to your life, and even what your purpose is as well. And when you develop this nervous system stability, you are not going to have that void inside you. You're not going to feel anxious. You're going to have clarity. And most importantly, you're building yourself to actually maintain a relationship long term with one woman without actually having that need of chasing novelty again and again because you feel that void inside you. And every intimate experience that you basically have trains your nervous system towards fragmentation or towards depth, because sex is so meaningful. There is so much that you can get out of it when you engage in sexual intimacy with the person who is actually meant for you. And through it, you can even experience transcendental states as well. But when you constantly train your nervous system to sleep around casually, you are never going to be able to reach that depth with that one person who might be the right one for you. Now, if you are someone who has a history of sleeping around with a lot of people and you actually want to work on yourself, you want to find out what is it within you that actually drove this habit inside you? What are you suppressing inside yourself? What are the traumas that you're even hiding from yourself? And what are the shadow aspects of you that you're not willing to face? You can also reach out to me to work with me as well. If you want to work with me, send me a message on Instagram, DM me the keyword coach to actually book a consultation with me where I can even guide you into building that nervous system level stability that you need in your life as a true, strong, masculine man. I hope this episode was helpful and I'll see you guys in the next one.